afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Collateral for Health Equity CHE Communications Tool webinar. My name is Savitra Wilson, and it's my pleasure to be presenting on behalf of the Institute for Local Innovations. I'm the CEO of Solid Ground Innovations, LLC, and I have here with me two of my team members, Ebony Smith and Callie Johnson, who will be directing some of our next slides later in the presentation. We're still waiting for a few others to join us, but we'll continue on with the webinar as it is presented. A few housekeeping rules. We plan for this webinar to last 45 minutes to an hour. We will stop and pause periodically just to answer any questions, and then at the end of the presentation for a general question and answer period and to address any needs and concerns. Let's get started. Another note is that we will be live tweeting. If you have a Twitter account and if you have your social media capabilities, please hashtag CHE webinars. You can also follow the hashtag. If you have any questions, you can also tweet them to us. The outline that we have today for today's webinar is introduction, overview, rebranding, and then, of course, we'll follow and end with questions. Just a note that the webinar is being recorded for future playback. Again, you can answer questions throughout the webinar and ask your questions to us by typing them into the taskbar, and we'll make sure that we do pause and respond to those questions as is related to the actual slide at the time. So if you have questions more broadly or general questions, try to save those for the end of the webinar so that we can address them at that time. But again, if you have specific questions to address during the slide that we're presenting on, please let us know and we'll address those questions. We have some additional resources that will be available on the CHE Member Resources page. We have a link that will include brand colors, brand fonts, and brand templates and how to use them. So I am going to pass everything on to Callie Johnson, and she's going to do an overview. And we have broken this webinar, again, into 3 parts, which we'll begin now.
Hi, guys. I want to thank you for joining us for this webinar. As Savitra said, I'm going to do an overview for you guys. In part 1, we are going to discuss brand guidelines and communication tools. In part 2, we're going to discuss the usage of templates within the brand standard. And in part 3, we're going to discuss brand collateral. So in this first part, which is brand guidelines, as well as communication tools, we're going to talk about the CHE rebranding. So as you guys know, CHE rebranded at the beginning of this year from Place Matters to what is currently known as CHE. So we've gotten a totally new logo with new colors, a new icon, a new name and tagline, which reads Collaborative for Health Equity, and the tagline is where people, place, and power matter. So we're no longer using that Place Matters logo nor name. We're now Collaborative for Health Equity, and our tagline is where people, place, and power matter. And again, we have new colors and a new icon, which both have been provided to you for your specific team, should you choose to go with this Collaborative for Health Equity logo. And again, if you have any questions about anything that we're discussing at the time, feel free to type them into the chat screen, which is on the left side of your screen, and we can answer those questions as we go throughout the webinar. So elements of the brand. As I mentioned, we have a totally new logo. So the Collaboratives for Health Equity logo consists of a custom icon a word mark, and a tagline. Again, if your team has decided to use the official CHE logos, then your team name should be placed directly above or below Collaborative and align left. These logos have already been designed and provided for you. The logo that you see on your screen right now is for Jefferson County. So Jefferson County is directly above Collaborative and it's left aligned, and it still has that icon, that word mark, and the tagline where people place Empower and Matter. For the logo art and colors, so CHE has selected 4 brand colors that you guys are to use on all materials. And we have provided the color codes in various different forms, such as CMYK, RGB, hex, and PMS color codes. And it's important to know when to use these, so we're going to take a moment to go over this now. So when you're creating print materials, such as your letterhead, your brochures, business cards, and signage, which are a couple of things we'll actually go over later on in the webinar, then you want to use CMYK or PMS logo art. So if you look to the right of the screen, let's just look at this first color. The code for the color is Pantone 534C. But under that, you'll see a hex code, which you see as a hashtag 2A3176. And then under that, you see the CMYK code followed by the RGB code. So for the print applications, you want to make sure you're using that CMYK or that PMS logo art. And then for digital applications, such as when you're producing PowerPoint, such as the one that you're viewing right now, or online graphics that you would typically use on your website or on social media, then you want to make sure that you're using RGB or hex logo art. And this may sound a little meticulous, but it is important because you want to make sure that the brand colors are, true to color when you're using them on certain materials, whether it's print materials or digital applications. Now we're going to move on to font. So the use of consistent font is also imperative to creating a unified brand. The primary CHE font is Gotham. So the font families actually will be emailed to each CHE team to make sure that you guys have that and you're able to use it on all of your collateral. Please use the bolder fonts for headlines and important text, and then use the center font for the body of the copy for letters, flyers, and other documents, or where smaller text is appropriate. So as you can see in the logo, we've used the bold font for Collaboratives for Health Equity, but for the tagline, we use the medium font. And then if you were to have a body text on a document, then you're going to use the thin font. Does anyone have any questions? If you do, you can type them into the chat and we'll respond to those. Now we're going to move on to logo art file variations. The Collaboratives for Health Equity logo must only be used in approved colors, and those are the colors that we went over in the previous slide. So the full color logo must always appear on a mostly white or light background to keep a consistently clean and engaging appearance. It also allows for all of the elements of the mark to be visible. In instances where only black and white is used, please use the black version of the logo. For instance, if you are printing materials and you know you're only going to print those materials in black and white, then just use the black version of the logo. When it is necessary to reproduce a one-color logo over a dark colored background, then you're going to use the white version of the logo. To the right of the screen, you see 4 examples there. So in that first example, you see the full color logo on a dark gray background. And as you can see, it doesn't really shine through on that dark gray background. So that's why we ask that you not use the full color logo on dark colored background. And then in the next example, you see the full color logo on a light, what looks like a mint green background, and you can clearly see the logo. So if you're dealing with a lighter color, then yes, it is okay to use the full color logo. But if you're dealing with those darker colors, you want to use the white logo. In that next example, you see the full black logo, which is kind of a grayscale for the icon, which is fine as well. And you would use that when you're using black and white printed materials or digital materials. And also, this last example is a dark colored background where you have the white colored logo. So if you were in an instance where you needed to use that dark gray that's in that first example, then you would use that all white logo. Area of isolation. So the CHE logo must always be afforded a predetermined area of breathing space, which is something that we refer to as an area of isolation. This ensures that the identity maintains its hierarchy and that it is not overwhelmed by other visual elements. The area of isolation, or that breathing space that we mentioned, is 1/2 inch all around the logo. And this applies to all communications, whether it's print communications or digital communications. Hi, Marlene. Your question is, will you share the different color logos with the team? Yes, we are going to share everything that you need as it relates to logos and fonts with your team. Thank you for asking that question.
Hi guys, this is Ebony. I just want to mention something here for the area of isolation. I know that at the Action Lab there were a couple questions about how to co-brand and make sure that the CHE brand still shines bright. This was one of the best ways that we felt would help keep that hierarchy, where if you have your logo too close to your partner logo, it'll seem like you guys are working for the same organization, or that it's you're not a different entity. So this breathing room, the area of isolation is what we're calling it, it helps for the CHE logo to remain at the top of the hierarchy, where you're not battling for that attention on a page.
Thank you, Ebony. There's also a minimum size that we have to consider when we're dealing with our logo. So on all materials, a logo must always be reproduced so that the width of the logo measures a minimum of 1 inch wide to ensure all elements of the identity are legible. And you really want to make sure that it is at least 1 inch wide, because you have a logo that has a good bit of text involved in it. It's not just an icon, so you want your reader to be able to read the logo, to be able to read Collateral for Health Equity and also read the tagline. Now, there is an exception. So when it is necessary to reproduce on marketing specialty items where a smaller size logo or smaller size logos are necessary, such as pens, USB drives, or similar products, you may want to size it to fit, allowing for no smaller than 1/2 inch width. You guys are going to see an example of that when we talk about brand collateral later on in the webinar. I actually had someone ask whether or not we should just allow you guys to use the icon on those items. I would say for now, we would definitely want to use the entire logo, simply because we just rebranded this year and you want to get your public and your clients acclimated with the brand and understand, when I see this icon, this is Collaborative for Health Equity. So until we've permeated the market with this brand, we're just going to continue to use the icon as well as the mark and the tagline. We provided some logo do's and don'ts for you. So you do want to make sure that you keep the logo proportionate. And a couple of tips that can help you guys do that. If you're using this logo in Microsoft Word is actually very helpful, because when you click on the crosshairs and you stretch it, it's going to keep it proportionate for you. But if you're in design programs such as Photoshop or Illustrator, those are Adobe programs, you're going to want to hold down Shift on your keyboard while you're stretching that logo to keep everything proportionate. So again, if you're in Microsoft Word, then Microsoft is going to keep that logo proportionate for you as you stretch it. But if you're in a design program such as Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator or InDesign, you want to hold down Shift as you stretch your logo so that it doesn't become disproportionate. And as you can see to the right of your screen, that first logo is proportionate, but directly under that you have 2 disproportionate logos. You don't want your logo to look like those 2 disproportionate logos. You do want to include all elements of the logo. So you want to make sure you have the icon, make sure you have the word mark, Collaborative for Health Equity, and also have that tagline where people, place, and power matter. You do want to use the brand colors. You don't want to change the color of the logo. There should be no reds or yellows or pinks. You want to make sure that you're using those colors that we have provided for you guys. You do want to provide enough space around the logo, which is what we just previously went over in the slide. Make sure that there is an inch around the entire logo. And you don't want to stretch or squeeze the logo, like we said. You also don't want to crop the logo. So if you crop the logo, you tend to, cut elements off of the logo that should not be cut. As you can see in this third example to the right of your screen, you don't see the icon in Collaboratives for Health Equity. You only see the wording and the tagline. And then in that next example, to the right of it, you see the entire mark is in this green color, which is a very nice color, but it is not a logo or a brand color. So you want to make sure that you keep everything consistent as we have provided for you. And lastly, you don't want to add any special effects to the logo. For instance, this last example on the page, you don't want to add this frame around it. You don't want to have it waving or very wavy or doing any special effects in a PowerPoint presentation. So we just want to keep it nice and clean and consistent so that people are able to view it and enjoy it for what it is, because we think it's a great mark. Now, Ebony is going to talk about our new communication tool, which is Slack.
All right, guys. So for the Slack platform, if you haven't already, it would be best to go ahead and review the tutorials that Slack has already provided. They go in depth for anything that you would need to do, setting up channels, adding documents, linking it with things like Dropbox or Gmail. So if you haven't already done that, please go ahead and review those videos. It helps greatly. On that same website, it also provides, if you want to read articles, they have the article version for different things that you need to do as well. For the best Slack experience, it's best to download the desktop and the mobile app because we're not always at our desktop. And so if you want to check a task or share something with one of your team members really quickly, you can go ahead and get on your phone, get in the Slack app, and do what you need to do from there. So it keeps you from needing to have your desktop all the time. And vice versa for having a desktop app. While you're working in, say if you're in your emails or you're working in just a different software, there's actually a notification that will pop up for you no matter what you're in and let you know if you have a task or something, or any notification. It will come up no matter what you're in. And so that's good for not missing things like emails or documents, when sometimes we have emails that we miss from time to time. So just make sure that you get both of those for the best experience. Use public channels to keep your work transparent. These conversations instantly create a searchable archive of knowledge like your team's collective brain. So, for example, if you're posting things about a project and you have it set to private, you may be able to go on and search for what you need. But if you tell your team member, hey, go on and look for that logo, they won't be able to pull that up because it's a private channel. Also, National won't be able to do that either if you have it private. So please set those channels to public. And if you're confused about what channels are, like I said, go back and review the videos. They'll explain. Customize your notifications so that you don't miss anything that's important to you. In the beginning, you may get more notifications or less notifications. And if you are a person that you would rather receive all notifications so that you don't miss anything, you can customize it that way. Or if you feel like you're getting too many notifications for things that you're not interested in, or things that you don't need notifications for, you can go on and customize that as well. And you can also share files in Slack, and others can give you feedback all in one place. So that's not going to stop the use of Dropbox, but it definitely can keep all of your work consistent in one platform so that you don't need to go from Gmail to Dropbox or any other platforms that you're using. You can do it all in one platform. And just one more time, if you have questions about how to share files from Dropbox or upload them from Gmail, any of those things, Slack already has tutorials provided. But if you end up having any specific questions, Maurice is willing to help with any of those tech questions. So just reach out to him. So as an example, for Slack, so if you're doing an event, Slack can definitely cut down on the need to ask multiple questions through emails or have a different platform to upload documents for that event and then a different platform to get people to respond on those documents.
you can actually go on the channel within Slack, upload your document, upload any questions, upload to-do lists for that event, create timelines. You can share that information with other team members in different states if you want them to be there. You can actually communicate with National as well if you have any questions for them, and they can communicate back with you if they have any specific questions about those events. And all of it will still be searchable after the event. If you want to go back and review what happened, or just have record of that information after. So Slack is going to be a great tool, I believe, for everyone to use. Did anybody have any questions about Slack? I know this is a new tool. Has anyone been able to use Slack? Has anybody set it up for their team? And you can comment yes or no. Don't be afraid.
Thanks, Marlene.
Thank you, Marlene.
No, this is Deborah from Williams.
Okay.
Our Illinois team or our Cook County team, I should say, has been able to use it. Are you guys finding it, useful for your organization? Or do you have any questions thus far, or any recommendations for other teams?
Okay. So we're going to assume no recommendations at this time, but we are glad. Oh, wait. And we'll add steering committee members. Awesome.
Sounds good.
The team from Cook County said that they just started a channel today, and will add steering committee members in the future. So that's another great use for Slack.
Right. So again, just to reiterate what Evanim is saying, it's definitely a great tool to use in-house. I know that personally we're able to use a system such as Slack to communicate with different team members, especially when planning events, or just keeping up with different clients. And I know that you guys are either hosting events, or you're hosting meetings, or you're creating documents, and it can tend to get lost in email. So storing it in one central location and being able to comment on that document and it not going anywhere, sharing it with different members of your team is really useful. So again, we think you're really going to enjoy this Slack tool. So as you get into using it and you view these tutorial videos and you have additional questions, feel free to reach out to Marty, and I'm sure he's able to answer those for you.
Yes, and as a bonus, one of the best reasons to use Slack is that it does cut down, it's proven actually, to cut down on emails. And so if you find yourself kind of overwhelmed with emails just throughout the day, we found with our system that now we really don't even need to send emails. We just get onto our platform, and it's similar to how you would comment on social media. You can mention a specific person, ask them a question, upload a document on the same task, so that if we're on a task for this event, we can all respond to this event, we can comment to each other, we can upload documents specific to this event, and like Callie said, have it all under this one event so that we're not looking for it through our emails. So definitely if you have any questions, review the videos, and then if you still have questions, definitely reach out to Maurice. All right, so part 2 is going to be using templates within the brand standard. So throughout the duration of our project, we've been creating these templates to help you better communicate with your audience that also fall within our new rebranding. So these are a few guidelines that are national. These are national guidelines that we want you guys to follow, and we think it will be the best in order to keep our logo prominent, keep the information prominent, and to keep everybody still looking. We want everybody to look unified, even if we are doing different things. We still want everything to say CHE, even if it doesn't literally say CHE. So to begin, logo should always be top left. It's been proven that people read from left to right, top to bottom. So one of the best places to put the logo is definitely at the top left. Contact information is most visible at the top of the page as well, since people read that way.
All attendees are muted.
Sorry about that, guys. Had a little technical issue. Like I was saying, contact information is most visible at the top of the page. And so as you'll see on your templates, they don't look exactly like this, but there will be a logo top left. Right now it's going to be the Collaborative for Health Equity logo, which is the national logo. You'll find that it's within a box, which is just a guideline for sizing. To the right, you'll see placeholder text. So there you want to go and insert your own text there, so your own number, the city, state, zip code for your organization, and a website if that applies to you. Just like before, fonts and colors should always be consistent. So if you're using the brand logo, just make sure that whatever colors you're using inside of your document if they're not going to be black. Any other color besides black and white needs to be the brand colors. And if you're confused or you're not sure what color to input, those brand guidelines will be provided to you, so you'll have the exact color codes for what you need to do. Do not alter logo layout. So that's just like what we said before. Please don't crop. Please don't stretch. We would definitely want you to keep the logo top left unless there's some extreme situation where you can't use it top left. But we definitely feel for visibility it's best for top left. And the logo should not look stretched or blurry. So even if you have a logo right now, if you find that logo is too small and you have to stretch it out and it's blurry, please request a better logo file because we have high-res logos for every team. So please definitely request that. And if it's a space where it's too small, please reach out and say something because we don't want you to minimize it so much so that nothing is readable. So this is just a tutorial on how to go about adding your organization's information to the templates. And this is going to apply to the letterhead, the business card, the labels, and also the envelope template and the presentation template. So you want to double-click the header. And if you're familiar with Microsoft, then you'll already know what I'm talking about. But if you're not, then I just want to go through it for everyone. You want to double-click the header, and you're going to delete National's logo. And then you're going to click Insert, Photo, and then navigate to where your team's logo is. Once you click Open, it's going to place it, and you just want to make sure that your logo is placed inside of the guide box. This is to ensure that the logos aren't too big or obtrusive. Once you've done that, please delete the box because you don't want to have any documents, with random boxes on it. So just delete that box afterwards. Once you've done that, you can either double-click outside of the header or you can click the button that'll be at the top that says Close Header Footer. I found that sometimes when I double-click outside of it, it doesn't always do what I want it to do. And so if you find yourself getting frustrated with trying to double-click outside, definitely there'll be a red button that says Close Header Footer. And that applies across the board, with the exception of the presentation. To add your contact information, it's going to be the exact same process. Double-click the header, delete the placeholder text, and just like how it is on the example, insert your organization's number, address, and website if that applies to you. And for the business card, it'll be the exact same. The header, insert your logo, your information, and then what will be different on the business card and the envelopes will be the information that you insert in the middle. So this is, like I said, this isn't the exact template, but once you guys receive those templates, you'll be able to go into the middle and insert your name or your teammate's name and their title and be able to print those. All right, so we have a poll for you guys, and we would love everyone to participate. So what communication tool is your team most in need of? And just a description of each. The e-newsletter template, these are used to help communicate with your public and clients through email. And so you can share communications about upcoming events, even the new rebrand. Those of you with customized names who want to do customized names, you can send out that information, send out background information. Let's see. Even if it's just like what we did for you guys, a survey. So if you want to send out a survey to your audience, you can do that through the e-newsletter template. Social media guidance. That would be just a few strategy tips on how to use your social media effectively for the organization. How many statuses should I post? What kind of content should I post? Do I need to post videos? Do I need to post more of this? How do I get more followers? Do I need to use Instagram? How do I use Instagram? Or Snapchat, if anyone's familiar with that, or, is this good for my organization? And lastly, a media kit template, which would just help you connect with the media. So that would be a press release, media alert, organization background, social media release, just ways that you want to get your information out to the media, and the best tools to do that so that you're represented the way you would want to be represented. And we've also used those to include photos so that you don't have anyone looking for photos and going to Google and just pulling random photos. You want to give them the photos, give them the background so that they don't have to go and search for it. Okay, and we're seeing some inputs here. Okay,
so our Louisiana team is in need of a media kit template, okay?
Okay, so we're seeing 1 and 3.
all tools, please. So we can definitely provide all of these tools to the teams. What we want to do is see what is most priority. So it looks like right now the media kit template is of greatest priority. Oh, great. So our Cook County team is participating in a rally tomorrow, and they will be live tweeting. So live tweeting is a great tool, guys, because you can connect with your audience and with individuals that you hope to be in your audience in real time. So just letting them know what's going on live as you are participating in it is a great tool to use, which is actually something that we're doing right now. So just a reminder, we are live tweeting this webinar. You can tweet and use the hashtag CHEWebinars, and you can ask questions that way. You can simply give us your thoughts and your feedback, and if this is helpful or not. So you want to make sure that you're using that. And it's also great to help you get accustomed with Twitter.
And another good thing about it is it allows the information that you may be sharing internally for the public to see. So that's another good way to gain followers. If you're trying to gain followers on Facebook, sharing content through a hashtag can encourage others to use that same hashtag or to even review your hashtag to see the information that you're putting out. So it's a great way to get exposure as well.
Great point. So we've had we've had 3 teams comment on the poll. I'm going to give you guys just one more minute to reassess them and see which ones would be most helpful to your team right now. Again, the e-newsletter template. You guys may use different platforms such as MailChimp or Emma if you guys need assistance in creating that e-newsletter template. Just so it's a nice and clean look, it's consistent with the brand, and it has all of the different areas and places for you to place the information that needs to go there. For instance, if you want to do a letter from the executive director, or if you want to communicate upcoming events, then you'll be able to do that via your e-newsletter template. The second is that social media guidance. So how do I live tweet? What are some of the things that I should be looking for? How do I ensure that I have a great hashtag? Because we see that some organizations tend to choose hashtags that aren't really conducive to tweeting, such as hashtags that are really long. So you want to make sure that your hashtags are short and succinct. So just tips like that. And then thirdly, again, that media kit template. So that press release template, media alert template, or a social media release template, or simply a backgrounder on your organization.
Number 3, okay.
Thank you, New Mexico team. We're going to unmute you guys on the phone so that you guys can provide your input as well.
If there's anyone who had to join via phone and you're not able to chat, so we're going to go ahead and unmute right now.
All attendees are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing *6.
Okay, so if you would like to respond to the poll, please press *6 and give your answer, and then you can just press *6 to mute. No, press *5 to mute yourself back. Is there anyone on the phone line? Okay, so one more time, just *6 if you'd like to respond. Okay. If not, then we're going to move forward. Thank you guys for responding to that poll.
Yes, Marlene has a question. If we're going to use Slack, would it be helpful to have these tools on there? Absolutely. So you could definitely house the social media guidance and also the media kit template on Slack. That e-newsletter template is going to be a bit different because that would be housed within the platform that you use to disseminate your e-newsletter template, unless we do a printed e-newsletter. So we'll look into that and see how we can get that on Slack, because again, we want you to use Slack in that way to house all of your documents, so you're not looking around all over the computer within different folders to find things.
All right.
So now we're going to move on to part 3, which is brand collateral. Brand collateral is a collection of products used to further permeate the market with your brand. Collateral can range from things such as koozies to T-shirts to USB drives, but the ultimate goal is to provide your audience with items that they use regularly, thus they're seeing your brand often. So I provided some examples of brand collateral for you guys to the right of the screen, such as a keychain, a USB drive, which we found to be really popular because we're always looking for USB drives. Even around the office, we're asking each other, do you have a USB that I can borrow? So maybe looking into different organizations or companies, I should say, that you can purchase customized USB drives from at a low price. Another example is a cup. These are very popular and very cost-effective, where you can place your logo. And also a koozie. We're in Southern United States, I should say, and football is really big here. So a lot of the people that we serve really love koozies. They like to use them for their drinks while they're tailgating. So that's another cost-effective marketing tool that you guys can use.
And to that point, you should definitely take advantage of the demographic of your audience. And so if you know that you have a younger following or a millennial following, the USB is definitely going to be useful for them. May not be as useful if you have, say, an older demographic who may be more interested in, they may be more interested in the cups or even like something that they put their coffee in, or mugs. They may be more interested in that. Or if you live in a part of the country where it rains a lot, you may find that umbrellas may be something that's used a lot. Or, just taking advantage of where you are and who your audience is definitely can help get your brand out there a lot more.
Great point. Does anyone have any questions regarding brand collateral? What we can also do is send you guys some links to different resources that we use to purchase brand collateral, such as Discount Mugs. That is a company that we use and we found to be pretty cost-effective. We've purchased a number of things from them, such as glasses and USB drives and keychains and Germex. So it's definitely a great tool, but we'll send you guys links to those different companies. Another one is Next Day Flyers. This is what we use for a lot of our printed collateral. So now we're at the general question, portion of the webinar. So if anyone has any questions about anything at all that we've gone over, or just any questions as it relates to communication tools and what you can expect, you guys can feel free to either unmute the line and ask those questions, or type them into the chat area of the webinar. Yes, you will absolutely get a copy of these slides.
And we want to mention that this will be rebroadcasted on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just a few examples. For questions, does everybody understand the new brand? Does it, the way to use the colors? Does everyone know how to install fonts? Do you have any questions about any variations to what we've talked about today, or any specific issues that your organization may have with something we've shown today?
For rebranding, maybe you guys talk, that's something that we will need, and this is Deborah Williams from South Delta South Delta Plays Matters at the time.
Okay, South Delta Place. Okay, and so you said these are things you will need, the rebranding?
Yes, need help with, yes.
Need help with? Okay, awesome. So yeah, definitely on the link from earlier in the presentation, the logo, so if you choose to go with the CHE logo with your organization's name in it, then that will provide that for you. If you have issues with colors, the font will also be provided as well. So you just need to make sure that everyone on the team knows how to install the font. But yeah, you'll be provided with the font as well as the colors and the logo that you'll need as well. And just as a tip, if you're in Microsoft or anything else and you're trying to get the exact colors, use what's called the hex code, which is just going to be, like Callie said, the hashtag and then the code that comes after that hashtag. So that's the easiest way to use the brand colors. The other ways, like I said, are more if you're in design software. They'll ask you for those, or the printer, if you're trying to go through a printer to print business cards or collateral, any of those things, then they'll ask you for more specific things. But definitely if you're just trying to create something in Microsoft, definitely go with the hex code. And that's how you know for sure. And I believe you can actually save them within Microsoft so that you always have them.
Okay.
Thank you for that question.
Yes. And what team are you with again?
South Delta Place Matters.
Okay. So are you guys?
I don't know what you guys are.
Now you.
Okay, in Mississippi.
And are you guys now using Collaborative for Health Equity, South Delta?
Yes, but I'm just saying that we haven't changed our logo or anything.
Got you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll be sending out a brand guidelines, which will definitely take you step by step for what you need in order to change out everything, starting with the name, and then your logo will have the updated name and everything. So we'll just look forward to those guidelines and the resources that will be available on the CHE website to help you transition smoothly.
Right. And in CHE, we'll also actually be in touch with the teams who need more technical assistance, and ILI will be able to help those teams with those specific needs. So I'm sure we'll be in touch with you, South Delta.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Thank you.
Do you have any more questions? Okay. So we have upcoming webinars planned for you guys. They'll be on
It'll be originally on June 28th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, and then it'll be rebroadcasted on June 30th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, similar to what we'll be rebroadcasting like on Thursday. So if you miss it on Tuesday, it'll be available Thursday, June 30th as well. Okay, and that next webinar will be talking about social media. So some of the things that we mentioned today about do I need a hashtag, do I need Facebook, how do I use those things for my team, do I need all the different types of social media, or should I just focus on Facebook? We'll be answering a lot of those questions and talking about some good strategies on how to connect with your audience and, gain more followers and, just do a little bit more on social media. So you can definitely look forward to those.
If you have further questions, you can definitely contact Maurice with NCHE, or you can contact us. Feel free to email me personally. My email is Callie, KALI, @sgicares.com. So that's S as in snake, G as in goat, I as in igloo, cares.com, and I'm actually going to type it into this chat area as well for you guys.
And also, you can email me as well if you have any questions about the templates or you have difficulty using the templates. So my email is ebony, EBONY, @sgicares.com. We're going to place that in the chat as well. So if you find that you're not able to add your logo, you're having trouble making your template look the way that it needs to, please just reach out to me and I'll do what I can to help you.
So once again, we want to thank each and every one of you for joining us for today's webinar on our new communication tools and the rebranding for Collaborative for Health Equity. And if you guys have any additional questions or concerns, feel free to contact us either via email, myself, Callie, or Ebony, or Maurice, and we will do our best to help you guys, and we look forward to continuing to make sure that everyone is aware of this rebrand. Everyone is aware of the rebrand and that you're comfortable with it within your team. So we want to wish you guys the best of luck, and thank you again for helping us. And also, please check out the new webpage for CAT. And this last slide is, once again, our presenter who was with us earlier, Savitra. She is the CEO of Solid Ground Innovations. Her email address is now on the screen for you guys, savitra@sgicares.com. And CHE Director, Geeta Ramprasad, her email address is on the screen as well. Ms. G. Ramprasad at nationalcollaborative.org. Thanks, guys. We hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
And we have one reminder, and it's please complete the team communication survey as soon as possible. If you haven't already done that, this actually is going to help us to help you, so we can kind of see who has what and who's in need of what. So if you found that you're in need of a few things that we didn't mention today, please go and complete that survey so that we can see what's needed and how we can help. Does anyone else have any questions or comments on anything? And you can send them in the chat, or you can say them online. Say them on the phone. All right. Well, we want to thank you guys again for your time, and you can look for a rebroadcast of this webinar Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much.